It continues. You're right. The top players do dominate in this game.
First set. Novak Djokovic to serve. Ready? Play. Fifteen love. Fifteen all.
Nadal does change his game a little bit compared to the way he plays Federer.
15.
To the way he plays Novak. You can see just watching Novak, it's a lot more time in between points than what Federer does. Federer always looks rushed and stressed and has to stay on top of the point. A little bit of that is because of the single-handed backhand, but also Nadal doesn't quite play as aggressively against Novak. He has to be wary of that double-handed backhand.
That one. That approach down the line of the two-hander from Novak, and he's got a game point.
Yeah, just watch Novak in a lot of these baseline rallies. You don't see Federer like this. He's got plenty of time, and obviously he's a little faster than what Roger Federer is these days, but a little bit of the result of the way Rafa plays against him. This is what Nadal has changed. He has become more aggressive.
Novak Djokovic, 1 game to love. Interesting. We talk about the rivalries. Well, go back to McEnroe and Lendl. These are the most meetings in a final. 11 and 8 does not, as you can tell, add up to 20, but because they didn't finish one match, that was in beautiful Stratton Mountain, Vermont. McEnroe leads that 11-8, or led 11-8. Nadal and Federer played 20 times in finals. 14 and 6 for Nadal, and against Djokovic, it's dead solid, even at 9 apiece. Some of the other great rivalries, Lendl-McEnroe, obviously, they played 36 times.
Borg-McEnroe, not nearly as many times as what we think, I don't think.
No, they didn't. Becker-Edberg had 35 times. Lendl-Connors, 35. Sampras-Agassi, 34. And McEnroe-Connors, 34. None more than these two.
Well, the last few matches, guys, Djokovic has come out fairly defensive and trusted his legs. Already, I can tell this match is going to be a lot more about Novak bringing his offense to Rafael Nadal.
Remember in the first set yesterday, Brad against Dan Wawrinka, it wasn't until the last game of the first set where he hit his first winner. Novak already has 4 winners in this match so far.
Rafa's playing tight.
Love 30.
Anna-Marie and Sebastian Nadal, that's Rafa's parents. It's very much a family affair, his career, because his Uncle Tony is his coach. Mallorca, Spain. Only won 1 point so far. Just think he's playing tentatively down. It looks to me like he's sort of rolling the wrist, trying to play with a lot of margin that he has, but maybe too much because that ball is landing short and giving Novak a look at it. Break points. 7-1 in points.
Left for service.
Wow, this is an amazing get. Well played here from Novak. Right shot as well, because he had Nadal's weight going back, and Nadal does a good job just to get there. And little head fake there gets Novak covering the line. Should give him a little confidence.
Break point, second serve. That is just too tough from Djokovic, and he gets the break, 2 games to love. I hesitate to say this because Brad jumps all over me when I do, but these are 2 unbelievably good defensive players. They can turn defense into offense in a hurry, but it is so difficult to get by either one. Beach?
And right off the bat, I mean, Rafa has been serving great all tournament, but to me, Djokovic just neutralized it. His return has been so amazing, and he's putting Rafa on defense. He's a little bit edgy right now based upon Joker's play.
Love.
Nadal is playing way too passively.
And he's dropping a few of those forehand short as well. And if he drops them inside the service line, then Novak has that ability on the backhand side to just get on top of the ball before it gets too high and lead into that backhand to get that easy power. And also take it either way.
Meaning off the backhand, he can go either down the line, cross court.
I'm not sure. I've seen Novak serve and volley all week. What a smart play. But I really think that Rafa has got to work his inside-out forehand. The shot we saw yesterday, Cliff, Rafa's forehand to Novak's forehand. That's the play for him.
Not found the range on the forehand side.
14-15.
There's the forehand into the forehand.
Go through the matches of these two players, and so often, Cliff, it's just a couple of points here or there, and the ability to save some break points that changes the momentum of these matches. And remembering back to the US Open in that third set when Novak looked like he was on top, he had 4-all in the third set, love 40 on Rafa's serve, had all the momentum. Somehow, Rafa saved those break points, and that was a huge turning point.
You have a break point in that third set. I mean, he was up a break.
He was up a break early, then love 40 at 4-all with the breeze at his back.
Three to Djokovic in the first set. Novak Djokovic with a 3-game-to-love lead. Major Fernandez, by the way, I hope she's watching. I wish her the very best. She had a little bit under the weather here in the last couple of weeks. Heading down to beautiful Miami for her cousin's wedding.
Actually, Mary Jo was the only one that said that Nadal was going to come back and dominate the tour and play well on the clay. All of us didn't know how his return was going to be after 7 months out, but she had a lot of faith in Rafa.
And Rafa needs a little faith in himself at the moment. He's playing very, very defensively. He's on his heels. Solid start for Novak. 5 winners, 2 unforced errors.
And Cliff, in the first 14 minutes, what jumps out immediately to me is Djokovic is stalking the baseline. He's inside the baseline sometimes and pushing Rafa back. I think that's why that you're seeing Rafa look defensive.
Recognize that handsome gentleman?
Great champion.
Stefan Edberg.
Isn't he thinking somebody should have served and volleyed?
Stefan in my first ever international juniors event at the Australian Open when he was going for the junior Grand Slam. Back then it was the last of the Grand Slam tournaments, and he beat me in the first round of the juniors, and then he went on to win the Australian Open and won all 4 majors in the juniors. Won a few seniors as well.
What a great player, what a great guy. Those were the days. Those were the days, my friend, of certain volley, 6-time champ. In majors, 30-15.
13-15.
Lived in London for a long time, moved back to Sweden.
Just like these two guys, he was someone that invested in a coach for a long time in Tony Pickard, and they had great success together, like Rafa and Uncle Tony, and of course Novak Djokovic with Marion Vida. A lot to be said in that.
Double fault break chance for an insurance break and a 4-game-to-love lead. You're saying a lot to be said for keeping a coach for a long time.
Consistency, trust, you build up a great relationship, the same message. Not always the case.
Great chance.
Certainly a lot of good in it. Big chance here for Novak.
His reaction, because he played that point to Djokovic just like he wanted to. He played defensively, keeping the ball in play, waiting for the error, and then he's the one who came up with the error.
Yeah, Cliff, this was the first time also that Rafa got good direction on that favourite forehand, that inside-out forehand, but even still it wasn't good enough to get past Novak. Incredible movement to stay in that point.
Those reaction shots that we show, Darren, because you watch players like this and it looks sort of ho-hum. You don't see that much expression from them. But when you see those kinds of facial expressions, you realize just how much tension there is. Game point, Nadal. Couple of unforced errors and Nadal is on the board. Dolphins and the Bucks, two teams looking to make up a lot of ground tonight. Actually, coverage beginning with Monday Night Countdown at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Miami and Tampa Bay, 8:25 Eastern on ESPN. Also live on Watch ESPN. Mikey Tirico, I'm sure he's not watching us because he's getting his juices flowing for tonight's matchup there. He's got his work cut out trying to find a way to get the Bucks moving this year.
How did your Cowboys go last night?
I did not follow that because I'm in London busy working.
They gave up 40 first downs and got taken to the woodshed, Lord Drysdale.
Sorry.
There's the first sign of a little energy from Rafa, a little fist pump, and the crowd really, you know, this is a Fed-Fan crowd. It's about 90-10 out here. This kind of reminds me of Djokovic being the old Lendl, where the crowd is always against him.
So, Brad, you're saying the crowd that normally supports Roger Federer pretty hard here is now migrated across to support Nadal?
Absolutely.
I thought he had quite a bit of support in that match against Federer as well yesterday. Not 50-50, but certainly a fair share of support.
The momentum in these matches can swing so quickly.
15-30.
You miss a couple, you mishit a few, and you start to question yourself.
Rafa's gotten a little more air on his shots. Got those last couple up to Djokovic, would force the error.
Novak is making the unforced errors now. $15-30. And 2 chances here for Nadal to break back.
We go back through the matches these guys played, and so often huge momentum change if you can save a few break points. And that's just what Nadal did in the last game.
The
fact is that neither one of these two enjoys the luxury that someone like Tsitsipas enjoyed when he could just serve his way out of trouble. These two guys return serve too well. No freebies. 1 ace only.
That's about as big as you'll see Novak serve. 127 out wide. He's playing more offensive, which is leading to some errors, but he's taking more risk on his serve.
Remember, Djokovic is on a 21-match winning streak. His last loss was to Rafa, the US Open on September 9. Deuce.
left for service.
That's what I want to see more of.
Advantage, Nadal.
Steers that one long. Nadal gets the break back. We're on serve. It is 3 games to 2. This is the championship match, everyone, of the Barclays ATP World Tour Finals. Brad Druitt, the trophy trophy that these two are playing for. And Darren, you had your BD badge on today through the Open. That's a nice thing. He was a terrific guy. He lost his life this year. Had a real struggle, health struggle.
And not just a great friend to us Australians. We all grew up with Bradley, and just an amazing guy, but a great friend to everybody in tennis, and did an amazing job with the ATP, and we miss him dearly.
He was the executive director of the ATP.
Yeah. He'd be smiling because he was majorly responsible for putting this event together, the World Tour Finals, and he did a remarkable job. He would be smiling right now, I know that.
On serve, 2-3. What did you call him, the king of the rebreak the other day, Brad?
He is the absolute king of the rebreak, Mr. Novak Djokovic.
Just broken, now love 15.
That is one heck of a backhand. I know Andre, who'd be watching, would be smiling with that backhand cross court.
Speaking of Andre Agassi, Brad, both you and I worked hard on making him go out and play different game plans, and that's kind of what we saw Novak do yesterday against Wawrinka. Played a very defensive game plan and let it come to him, and that's what we tried to get Andre to do quite a bit against guys he struggled with. If he brought his A game to a lot of guys, he'd improve their play, the opponent's play. So bring it back 1 or 2 gears. Guys like Kuchera or Hobati, the better Andre played, the better they played. And Andre struggled a little bit early in his career to play different styles of tennis, and Brad was majorly responsible for teaching Andre that.
He did not like bring in the curve. That was a tough one for him to... That's in the playbook today?
Yep. Long.
Certainly what Novak has done with his play yesterday compared to today.
That is wide, and this is a point for Nadal.
Boy, he's been a different player since having those breakpoint opportunities at 3-love. He's just lost his focus and direction, and
Please don't use camera with flash.
very tentative at the moment is Novak Djokovic.
As was Nadal at the start of the match. Three in a row for Rafa.
He had 5 winners and only a couple of unforced errors after the first 2 or 3 games, and now it's 7 winners, 11 unforced errors, racking them up.
3 games all.
Nadal leads the rivalry 22-16. This is their 6th meeting of this season. Nadal up 3-2, including the US Open Championship.
Djokovic withstood there. To me, Rafa's got to keep working that forehand to the Djokovic forehand. I think that opens up the court for him.
40 love.
Fourth final of the year between number 1 and 2 players on the Emirates ATP rankings. At Wimbledon, it was Andy Murray was ranked 2 in the world, taking out Djokovic, Nadal Djokovic at the US Open. Djokovic, Nadal in Beijing. And now here.
14-15. Game. Djokovic.
All right, are we ready to get this thing underway now? 3-love and then 3-all. Now 4-3. We're on serve.
Djokovic needs 4 games to win.
Let's go inside the point and see Novak Djokovic, how he's trying to control the baseline. And he did this for the first 3 games. Got a little bit tentative after losing some break points to go up 4-love. But steps in, easy power on the backhand side. We've spoken a lot about the progress that he can make with that backhand cross-court. It opens up the court for him. Continues to move from side to side. Good heavy hitting there from Novak. A very important service game. He just held at 4-3.
Good point, Dan. And I think you should add to that the fact that he is stalking the center of the baseline, sort of like a squash player, positioning himself there. Making rougher moves from side to side.
$15. $15.
There we go. For those who have been asking about the patch that I've been wearing, Brad Druitt, the BD patch that most of the ATP staff and players and members have been wearing in honor and respect of Brad Druitt.
I got one on too, Killer.
Well done, Bradley.
30-all.
30-all.
It's two about the same age. Djokovic 1 year younger. Interesting statistical comparison. Djokovic, a relatively late starter. Then in his early 20s, he found a new serve. He kept the racket face closed, taking it back, wasn't opening up. Also, which was the huge improvement in his forehand. Improved a lot as well, and he has a break point
14.
at 3-4. Both had 3 break points so far. Both converted 1.
It's about as big as you'll see Rafa reach back in 25.
Yeah, and he's also going to mix up the serve a lot more against Djokovic than he would against Federer. Remember, 90% of these serves are directed to the Federer backhand, but against Novak, there's no real weakness. So to go after his first serve a little more is a good tactic.
No, he's not going to throw in those 99 working first serves. You'll never see him double fault 4 times in a set, Darren. I think that's partly because he's going after serve more in the first serve, missing more.
Advantage, Djokovic.
Another break chance. Extraordinary defense and lob from Djokovic to keep him in the point.
No other player in the world can run down this particular shot, make that return a serve, and then run down a pretty good volley cross court to stay in the point. Not a bad job here by Rafa as well. No real options, and he plays the right shot. Probably could have put a little more on that last backhand volley, but beautiful defensive tennis from Novak. Gets that breaker serve.
Yesterday, after the semi-final match, Novak said we have played each other close to 40 times. And as I said, it's very tense. We push each other to the limit. Djokovic serving for the set.
$15 love.
Ooh, he's unloading. Caution to the winds from Rafa.
That's the best backhand that we've seen from him so far in the match.
Intimidating. Excellently played lob. That would have been good. Nadal, excuse me, in the air.
That's the shot there that has changed in Nadal's game. He didn't normally take that forehand down the line. He'd be content to give it some height, roll that one cross court, stay in the point. But now he's turning defense into offense because he was not on top of that point until that forehand down the line. Beautiful athleticism.
15-30. 5-3.
Let for service.
That is unbelievable. Half volley that hits the tape and goes over. No way for Nadal to defend against that. This was lucky.
Yeah, well, I think it's double luck as well, because I think the half volley was going wide if it clears the net.
Third
So the only thing that could have saved him was the leg court.
30 all instead of 15-40 in break points.
That's smart. Really controlled tennis there from Novak. Didn't go for too much on that forehand, gave it plenty of margin, but also short enough in the court that it was going to cause Nadal a lot of trouble.
14-13.
Set point.
It's only his second ace of the match, but it is Novak Djokovic, number 2 in the world, trying to claw his way back to number 1. The game is on from the O2 Arena here in London. Feeling, don't you, that whole set was really hinged on just one shot, that hard volley from Djokovic that hit the tape and kept him in that game. You're watching live coverage, everyone, of the Barclays ATP World Tour Finals. It's world number 1, Rafa Nadal, Spain against Novak Djokovic of Serbia. First set 6-3. There have been 3 breaks of serve altogether in this set. Djokovic started out well. Nadal started out tentatively. Djokovic got somewhat tentative. Lost 3 games in a row after he won the first 3 games. And then the game was on. Very solid and well-played tennis. Now for the second set. Djokovic 1 set away from hoisting this trophy here in London.
Especially behind the base, thank you. Base already.
Australian Open champion Djokovic.
Second set.
US and French Open champion this year in Rafa Nadal.
Love 15.
Some frustration there from Rafa. He rushed that shot. Got a little too close to it.
Last 8 meetings have been won by the player winning the first set.
Fifteen, 30.
He's got one of the best overheads in the game.
Just doesn't miss.
Maybe the best.
But how about that defense just to be able to throw up that lob? I'm not sure any other player, maybe Murray, gets his racket on that ball. That's it.
That's long. Game point for Nadal. Listen to the feet. The rubber hits the road here on this court. It's amazing
14-13.
how they slide on this relatively tough, hard court. Both of them.
I think there's always a great lesson also for every junior out there to watch Nadal's feet after he serves, how active they are and how much he tries to protect his backhand. Those little steps all the time, trying to give himself plenty of room to make contact with the ball. That's a good return of serve.
Rico challenge.
Nadal changed the court. At baseline, Boris Kolar.
I think that one might have just clipped it.
Long.
No, BG, look at this. Oh! It would have been long for there was another millimeter.
Replaying the point.
Never get into this argument, BG, with Mr. Magoo Drysdale. He can see it from a long way away.
Yeah,
I've failed many times. Big game.
Wow.
Just look at the athleticism of these two players, and especially Novak Djokovic. It earned him this first set because watch the pirouette after 360 turn, after the return of serve here from Novak, then the ability to run down this shot, stay in the point, huge slide to get that lob over the top of Nadal. Good effort there by Rafa to stay in the point as well, and pushes forward with the left leg to punch that volley away. Tremendous athlete.
And Darren, in general, this is probably one of the toughest courts to slide on. You know, on hard courts, you will see Djokovic slide more. And Nadal, who is a sliding genius on clay, doesn't like to slide nearly as much as Djokovic does on hard courts.
You think that's because this surface is laid over the top of plywood and not cement, Brad?
Absolutely. You always feel like, man, if you just, catch, a little stick, you could have a little trouble with the old knees.
Love 15. Fifteen all.
Darren, talk about the strings and how they affect the way that the ball comes off the racket, because that's become a huge plus, hasn't it?
Well, the strings have changed a lot in the last 5 to 10 years, Cliff, and everybody's now using these hybrid versions and these polyester versions of string that you can give extra spin on the ball. From what I remember, Nadal uses RPM Blast. It's a Babolat string, and he gets an enormous amount of spin from that particular string. Djokovic uses a hybrid.
And Darren, wasn't Nadal one of the last to go to the poly strings? He didn't switch until 2010.
So. Yeah, I believe so. And also, Novak has natural gut in the mains, and I believe it's Luxlon, or it could be a head version of that polyester string in the crosses. So his racket plays pretty fast. When you put gut in the mains, it means it plays a little faster than normal. Can lose control of the ball at times. But gone are the days when players use full natural gut restrings. It's either a hybrid version or a synthetic racket now.
Djokovic.
4 teams ranked in the top 5. Highlight the State Farm Champions Classic on ESPN. Tomorrow night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. It's Michigan State and Kentucky. And then at 9:30 Eastern, it's number 5 Kansas and number 4 Duke. State Farm Classic, part of the tip-off marathon. And as usual, you can watch it live on ESPN.
All about the freshman in Kansas Duke, Parker, and potentially #1 pick Wiggins. You know all about those guys, Cliffy. A couple of 18-year-olds with huge upside.
Used to be a North Carolina boy.
Just to follow up on that string issue as well, Cliff, it allows the players, because they do get more spin on the ball, it allows the players to restring their rackets looser, which means you can combine more spin and also more power into your game. So that's what we see with a lot of the players these days. They're also using lighter frames. A little more racket head speed.
He's overcooked a couple of forehands here based on the defensive ability from Djokovic that Rafa has to play a little finer than normal.
Aggressive he's trying to be, and only 4 winners coming from the racket of Nadal. Only 1 forehand winner, and he's really going after it. A lot of unforced errors from that side. Had a chance in the first service game of Nadal, did Novak, and 3 break points here.
Fifteen, 14.
Couple saved, 1 more chance for Djokovic.
$30-14.
The break for Djokovic. He leads by 2 games to 1. Barclays ATP World Tour Finals, everyone. Djokovic up a set, and now a break.
That's a stop.
It made a huge difference. Don't roll this hit, guys. It made a huge difference when Novak Djokovic changed his forehand. You see how much palms down he's got, closed racket face, eyes on the ball, balance between the left and the right arm. Now he's ready to uncoil into the shot. But watch what happens when he uncoils. Started right there. Now he's going to soften the wrist. Wrist laid back right there. Freeze it there. Do you see how much action he's going to get on the ball? Eyes still on the ball. And the balance still between the left and the right arm. But watch his racket now. It's still closed with the racket face, isn't it? He comes through then low to high. Eyes glued to the ball. And this is where he gets the power with that wrist layback and control. You don't see that live as well as you do here on this replay.
You're just like a running back with those crazy eyes coming straight at me when you do those things, Cliffy. I just get out of the way.
2-1 for Djokovic with a break.
Darren, I tell you, the one huge adjustment in this match from all week from Djokovic is just his ability to take away more court. I mean, against Wawrinka, he was content to be 3-5 feet behind the baseline, but not in this match, and that's robbed Rafa of the time.
I think it's also a couple of things, Brad. Not only that, but also the unforced errors coming from Rafa because he's trying to play aggressively. The court position for Novak is allowing him to shorten the points, and Rafa, I think, believes physically he's better than everybody else, but he can't make this match physical at the moment. We're not having those long, extended points that he loves.
Also, maybe in a best-of-3 set match, maybe he doesn't think that this can become a physical affair. It's more about taking position.
That was the forehand that you've been calling for, Brad, from Rafa Nadal, but it's Djokovic who holds, and he's got a 3-1 lead now.
Boy, he has not found his range on the forehand all match.
It's not like he's hitting it badly. He's mishitting it. He's just overplaying it, and I think that's just because of the movement factor from Djokovic. He certainly didn't feel that way yesterday playing Federer.
Out. Linesman offside. 13 love.
Nice strong early call there from Muhammad.
Yeah, the linesman said unsighted and a quick overrule.
I think all the lines people, the ball kids, the umpires have done a marvelous job this tournament.
40 love Nadal. Lost lefty to win the yearly championship.
It's a good trivia question. Let's give that to Brad.
Who was it, Beach? The lost lefty.
Say this again?
Who was the last lefty to win the year ending?
was in the 1980s.
Gotta be Mac.
Yep. Connors won it also.
Did Vilas win it in the 70s when they had it on clay once?
Yep, good call. There's one other lefty. And if you get this one, then I don't think genius is too strong a word for you.
I think maybe another lefty on clay, Orantes.
Are you reading your notes?
I have no notes in front of me,
He does not
buddy.
read notes. I can tell you that for sure.
Oh, man.
Too good.
The numbers guy. Game point.
Out. Game.
Nadal holds. It's Djokovic with a breaker serve in the second. He's got a 3-2 lead.
Djokovic.
Barclays ATP World Tour Finals, everyone, live. O2 Arena in London, championship match. Djokovic winning the first set, 6-3. Second set with the lead, one break. 3-2, 3 breaks in the first set, 1 so far in the second.
Really found his range and rhythm on that first serve in the second set. He got that early breaker serve, and now he's made 15 of 18 first serves.
From shoelace height, he picks up one of those dipping ground strokes from Nadal and hits it for a winner.
I mean, that is an exquisite volley. Great control. I just saw Stefan Edberg crack a smile.
Stefan Edberg, so everyone knows, was a serve and volley player. Spent more time at the net than anywhere else, and 6-time major winner from Sweden. Game point Djokovic. Here's Stefan.
Maybe taking a quick peek there to the instant replay going, how does Novak defend that inside-out forehand that Nadal hits?
Those were 2 monster forehands that he returned with. That was incredible.
For Nadal. Still game point for Djokovic on his serve. Nadal, #1 in the world, and he has been there for 108 weeks total. Djokovic's been #1. He's #2 now for 101 weeks. All-timer in that department is Federer, over 300 weeks. Game point.
Djokovic leads 4-2.
It's quite remarkable how fresh these players look after the year they've had. Both of these guys played a ton of matches, and also considering last week they played a Masters 1000 event in Paris-Bercy, a tournament that Novak Djokovic won. Had one day off before coming here to London to start this particular World Tour Finals event. And also considering in 4 days' time he'll be playing a Davis Cup final.
It's against the Czech Republic. Is that at home?
Yeah.
They in Serbia?
Yeah, an indoor surface. He's also trying to win the Euro Championships and the Aussie Open in the same year for the 3rd time. Did it in 8 and 12. Talk about starting and finishing the year strong.
15 love. I just love the dynamic of these two who are the peak of their powers, both of them, and their efforts to find a way to beat each other. They have the greatest rivalry in tennis going, the longest in the Open era. Adjustments that they have to make. I was going to say subtle adjustments, but they're not all subtle. Some of them are really overt.
15-13.
.30. 2-4 down a set.
Simply too good from Novak. It's really the forehand, the short one cross-court that does most of the damage. And once he makes that and he drags Nadal wide to the backhand side, so much court opens up.
15-14.
And continues to control the point with his forehand. Well played. Been really successful when he's come forward at net. 11 from 14 today.
Break points for a double break. Rafa's box with his girlfriend and his sister and his parents all watching. Girlfriend on the left, sister on the right. Break point.
Voilà, thank you.
Boy, it's a good serve. Couple of good serves. 99 miles an hour only, but that thing was wide and on the line.
He's got his rhythm in the second set. 19 from 23 first serves made, but not one single ace in the match. It shows you how well Djokovic returns. No, the crowd here will really get into this right behind Nadal if he finds a way to hold serve.
Advantage.
That was Rafa's uncle, who was known as the Beast of Barcelona, great defenseman.
Soccer. The soccer international, by the way, not just professional, but he represented Spain.
Deuce.
Rafa the raging bull. Deuce.
Advantage. Nadal.
Djokovic to serve at 4-3. Upper set in this championship. Down under in Melbourne, Australia. Our coverage beginning on January the 12th. It's 7 o'clock Eastern time. With the time change, international dateline affecting that. Starts on the Monday, but that's Sunday evening here in the US of A.
Yeah, the tournament starts a little bit earlier this year. The ATP Tour actually starts before the beginning of the new year, right, Darren?
Got to read that promo with an Aussie accent, mate. Come on.
15 love.
I will kill her if you can ever get mine. Djokovic in front 4-3 with a break. Won the first set of 15 love. 2 service games away from hoisting the trophy. How many times you've been here, these are the moments that really test the mettle of an athlete. Dirty love.
Oh, gorgeous. That's so different to yesterday when Nadal was controlling everything from the baseline and he looked settled and he looked like he had all the time in the world, but completely the opposite today because Novak has him off balance consistently and is able to hit winners from either side. Beautiful timing.
Net for service.
Novak's done a really good job of today is not panicking when he's inside the baseline and he has that short ball. He's played those balls with a lot of spin and a lot of margin and made very few unforced errors in that position. But when he's been behind the baseline, then he's prepared to take spin off the ball and be more forceful with his ground strokes to try to at least stay neutral or get on top of the points. A lot of the times when you get inside the baseline, you go for too much. You don't need to. That's when you have control of the point.
going with that forehand side. He's been looking for that when Djokovic starts to unleash and uncoil into the forehand side. But that was just too hard.
Leads 5 games to 3.
1 game away. $1.9+ million for the winner of this match, and $1 million+ for the runner-up. Pretty casual return.
15 love.
The harder flat ball that Djokovic has gotten at Rafa's forehand and caused it to make some mistakes tonight.
Corner of Nadal's eyes. He actually saw Djokovic moving forward and went for a little too much on that backhand.
Year-long travel, and we're just down to 2 players. And now 1 point. Championship point for Djokovic.
Please turn off the flashlight. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Advantage. Nadal.
He's still alive, but it's Djokovic to serve for the championship, and we come back live to the Barclays ATP World Tour Finals in London, everybody. 4 points away for the Serbian.
Djokovic leads 5 games.
Matt Emmerich's ATP World Tour ranking shot of the day.
Well, this is in the opening set of 4-3. Break point for Novak Djokovic. What incredible athleticism to run down that ball, flick it over the top of Nadal's head. Still have a little bit of tennis to go, but it's going to be tough to beat that shot of the day. We'll play for Novak.
Only broken once down in this match, Djokovic. Past 10 p.m. here in London.
Big problem for Rafa Nadal is the return strike point. Normally we see him mixing it up a lot, but not so much tonight. A long way back, and that's coupled by the fact that most of these returns of serve have been dropping short, and that's given Novak the opportunity to really dictate points from the first ground stroke. Selective about which way he comes to the net, and very rarely does Novak come in on Nadal's forehand. Pays a heavy price there. And normally it's been to the backhand of Nadal.
30-15. Cut it with a knife. Closes in for the kill, and it's 30-all. Can feel the pressure.
Thank you. Thank you.
Second match point for Djokovic, this time on his serve.
30.
He'll pay the price for their attempt to drop shot, and he does. Deuce.
Well, you've got to love Rafa, don't you? Just really has been outplayed for this entire match so far, but he will never, ever give up trying.
Yes.
You know, hit that drop shot, though, you've got to go down the line, don't you, Dan? That just opened up the court for Rafa.
first serve of the match.
Yeah, great reply.
131 ace.
Advantage, Djokovic.
And obviously there's the tension, the pressure, the drama of the moment and the occasion here in London. It's a full house, a short of 18,000 people. The truth is that it was not technically the best match ever played, and I'm surprised because I thought it had the potential to be just that. They are both such great defensive players.
I think Nadal struggled a little bit with his forehand today. Cliff, he didn't make a great start. He looked to be a little bit nervous at the start and never really found the range on the forehand. But beyond that, a couple of minutes there where Novak lost serve early in the first set, tactically, and I thought he executed a great match. Came out with real purpose. He tried to control the baseline, make very few unforced errors. I can't even remember one single ball that he mishit. And he put everything together today on the big stage in a big match, and he earned this victory. He's been a man on a mission since the US Open.
We're going to take a break with Novak Djokovic having won this Barclays ATP World Tour Finals, everybody. We'll come back with the presentation of it. An interesting dynamic because this match, you can't just look at it in isolation because they've had all of these really great matches this year already, including two many Grand Slam finals, Darren. So this match also, it lets you leap into next year and consider the possibilities.
Yeah, they played 6 times this year, 3-3 head-to-head. They've had a real tussle for this #1 ranking. Rafael Nadal will finish the year as the #1 player, but Novak Djokovic at #2 is just behind him, and a fitting finish to what's been a fascinating year. As we said at the start of the show, there's another guy who had a little back surgery in Andy Murray. He held aloft the Wimbledon trophy. I'm not sure that he would change positions with Nadal or Djokovic and give up that Wimbledon trophy for anything. Roger Federer and his struggles have been well documented this year. I think he'll come back stronger and better next year in 2014. Ferrer made his first ever Grand Slam finals. So many great stories in tennis. And Novak Djokovic finishes it off. Wonderful style. Still a little bit of tennis for him to play. To shoot off to play a Davis Cup final in 4 days' time. But you see the elation on his face.
More than 2,500 matches played on the tour this year. 65.
And now, though, ladies and gentlemen, the 2013 Barclays ATP World Tour Finals Singles Trophy presentation. The Bradgeritt Trophy will be carried onto court by Rebecca King, who was the lucky winner of a competition run by Barclays. This once-in-a-lifetime opportunity has been given to the fans by Barclays to recognise the importance of the role that they play in the success of this event. And now it's time, ladies and gentlemen, to please show your appreciation for the 2013 Barclays ATP World Tour Finals runner-up. It's Rafael Nadal. Well, good. Hello. Thank you. Well, hello everybody. First thing I want to say is just congratulate a super player like Novak. Well done, unbelievable play. And I wish you the best of luck for the final of Davis Cup. You deserve it. Second thing, just can say thank you very much all the people who is there supporting me day by day for the last, for the last 27 years. Without them, for sure it's impossible to have the chance to enjoy a days like today, playing in this fantastic stadium and in front of probably one of the best crowds of the world in the best atmosphere here in London. So many thanks. Just can say thank you very much, all the tournament organization, all who makes possible this great event, one of the best that we have on tour, director of the tournament, Andre, thank you very much for everything. You have doing a great job with all of us, and you make us feel like home, so many thanks for everything. All the sponsors, without them, it's impossible to have an event like this. So all the companies who are supporting our sport, thank you very much to have the confidence in the tennis. And for the last thing, have been no doubt the most emotional season of my career. After a tough injury like I had last year, I couldn't be here playing in one of the best tournaments like the World Tour Finals. I miss it a lot. Probably it's one of the best seasons of my career, and play the last match of the season in this stadium is just a fantastic end for me, even if I didn't have the chance to win today, because I play against a player who played much better than me today. So just many thanks, all the crowd, for all the support, not only today, around the week, and all the crowd that supported me more than ever during the whole season around the world. Thank you very much, and see you next year. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen,
good evening, everybody. I would like to start, of course, congratulating Rafa and his team for an incredible season, and what you have done this year is amazing, and congratulations for ending as a world #1. course, this is a great place to finish the year, and I would repeat Rafa's words. You guys are amazing, and thank you for appreciating what we do. Thank you for having such a great passion for this sport and coming out the whole week, you know, without any empty seats, basically on the stadium for every singles match and doubles match, and it means a lot to us, and for us it's a pleasure to play here. So thank you for your support. Of course, tournament sponsors, volunteers, all kids, ATP, everybody who is taking a part in a contribution to, you know, to such a successful week, such a successful tournament. And you know, as I said, it's a great place to finish another season, and in a city that nurtures a tennis tradition for a long time. And thank you all for supporting it, and we'll see you definitely next year. I just want to finish by thanking my team, of course, the closest team of people who are not just my coaches, my professional team, but also very close and very dear people to me who I always can rely on. And you maybe see us playing alone on the court. You maybe think that this is individual sport, but the big success comes also from the back of the court, from these guys, and what they make, you know, what they give is very important to us. Thank you very much.
Terrific effort from Novak Djokovic today, and a little bit of showtime here at the O2 Arena in London. From the start, when these players make their dramatic entrance to this moment of triumph for the Serbian as he takes out Rafael Nadal of Spain in straight sets, 6-3 and 6-4. He's the ATP World Tour final champion.